Superintendent, Bureau of Investigative Services Steve Peterson, Chief of Detectives Tom Byrne, Deputy Chief Al Weisinger from Group A, and Commander Patty Walsh of Area 1 Detectives. We are here this afternoon to announce charges in the murders of Darnell Donnerson, Jason Hudson, and Julian King. William Balfour, the estranged husband of Julia Hudson, was charged today at noon on 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of home invasion. William Balfour has been in custody at Stateville Prison for violating conditions of a parole, and yesterday afternoon, Chicago Police Area 1 detective served a warrant at Stateville Prison where Balfour was released to the custody of the Chicago Police Department. Since that time, Balfour has been in police custody at Area 1 until formal charges were finally approved this afternoon. Detectives have worked this case tirelessly and around the clock to bring closure to the family and to the Englewood community. We also want to acknowledge the support of our federal partners, the State Crime Lab and the State's Attorney's Office, for their resources and cooperation in investigating this case. The Hudson family members were also a key partner in this investigation, cooperating with detectives every step of the way under very stressful and painful circumstances. But more than anything, the community stepped up to the plate and helped the police solve this case. That is the power of community policing. At this time, we'll take some questions, but I just want to caution you, Balfour has not had his initial appearance, so we'll be somewhat limited as to how we can respond. But we'll be glad to take any questions this time.
How did the community step up to the plate?
I'm going to have the specifics handled by Deputy Superintendent Steve Peterson.
Give your title once again.
Deputy Superintendent Steve Peterson, P-E-T-E-R-S-O-N. The community stepped up with assistance in this investigation when the SUV was located and with other information that they came forward with.
Has he confessed to these crimes?
No.
Are you not true? That's not, because that's never confessed.
No, he's not confessed to these crimes.
Has he talked to you at all while at Area 1?
He has made statements about the investigation. However, at this time, we don't want to go into what it was said.
What about Hudson's family? You said that they were being very cooperative. Hudson, Julia, what exactly did they provide you? How did they act?
Well, they assisted in the investigation, helping the detectives develop the pattern of events that occurred at the time, and assisted with other parts of the investigation, which we'd rather not say at this point.
Do they know the events? What do you mean?
As to the initial investigation when it took place and what occurred that day and in furtherance of it, but we don't want to delve too deeply into what was done with the family members.
Do they know that he's been charged?
Yes, they do. They were informed.
What did they say?
They were relieved and happy that the Chicago Police Department were able to bring this case to a successful conclusion. Well, there's a lot of phases of the investigation that took place, and still some of the investigation is ongoing with the forensics end of the investigation. So there are some issues that the State's Attorney's Office brought up, and those issues were resolved, and it was at this time that the warrant was issued.
Did Balfour's girlfriend play a role in this at all? Balfour's girlfriend, did she play a role in this arrest? Did she see him with a gun?
Well, we'd rather not be specific as to what part she played in the investigation, although she was cooperative in the investigation.
Are there several girlfriends that actually are bringing forth information? Several girlfriends involved? Several friends of Balfour bringing forth information?
No, we have other information brought in by others, but not necessarily other girlfriends, as you state.
Are you looking for a second person in the conflict?
At this time, it doesn't appear that anyone else was involved, but it could evolve later on that there was. So,
As you may know, Mr. Balfour's mother and attorney are questioning the timing of this, given the parole hearing that's coming tomorrow, that perhaps police are rushing to judgment. In fact, they claim it's all circumstantial, as there is no convincing evidence to be able to charge their son. How do you respond to that?
Well, they don't know the entire investigation, as the detectives know and the State's Attorney's Office knows, so I'd rather reserve judgment on their speculation.
Is there DNA or fingerprint evidence that ties him positively to this crime?
That is still being worked up. It is a tedious job that the Illinois State Crime Lab is working on, but the weapon that was recovered has been linked back to the homicides.
That's a good link. Yeah.
That's also still being worked on with forensic work with the state crime lab.
But you believe he acted alone, right?
Well, at this point in time, he's the only one charged.
So motive, sir?
It appears like it was domestic related.
Be more specific.
Well, it was domestic related between him and his former wife, and that's about as far as we can go.
So is the timing of the charge, or the charges, vis-a-vis the timing of the parole board hearing tomorrow, strictly coincidence in your mind?
Well, if that's a conclusion you draw, the timing of the issuance of the warrant was based on the issues that the state's attorney's office had come up with at the onset of the investigation, and most of which have been resolved.
Have you been able to determine whether the 7-year-old, was he killed on the same day that the older members of the family were killed?
It is believed that he was, however, we're not exactly sure as to the timing of that.
The mother accuses police of cutting a deal with the girlfriend for her information that was, the mother claims, is false. Was there some kind of deal with charges and dropped? Anything cut with the girlfriend in exchange for any information?
No.
No, there was no deal cut with her, just to be clear.
You haven't charged him with kidnapping, which may, because of the removal of the charge. Can we expect a kidnapping charge?
Well, the charges that were approved were the 3 counts of first-degree murder and the 1 count of the home invasion as of this point.
Did you ask for other charges?
No.
Did he admit to his girlfriend that he was involved?
Well, we'd rather not comment to that aspect of the investigation at this point.
Have you determined whether Jason Hudson was involved with them, that there were indeed drugs being sold out of that house?
We'd rather not comment on that, and that can't lend itself one way or the other, whether we do or don't.
Go back to the parole hearing if we could. Obviously, he was charged with a parole violation, which was a convenient way to get him in prison because no charges could be brought immediately after he was picked up. So we got this parole hearing at which point he could have been released tomorrow. Were these charges brought today to make sure that he did not get released?
No, we can't comment as to what the parole board would have done in his investigation, and it wasn't a matter of convenience. He did violate parole, and they took him into custody for that. And it was just, there's no timing aspect as to the fact that his hearing was coming up tomorrow. As I stated earlier, that the issues have been resolved with the state's attorney's office and Chicago Police Department.
Is there any explanation of why he would take the little one and from the adults from the very prior crime scene? If it took him alive from the van and then something happened, or if he just took the body?
To comment on that would just be pure speculation. We have no idea what was going on in Balfour's mind at the time he did that, so it would just be a guess, and I'd rather not speculate. I'd rather try and follow the evidence.
Do you believe the boy was killed in the car, so the SUV? Do you believe the boy was killed in the SUV?
We believe that, yes.
What were some of those issues that you had to resolve in the 6 years office?
Well, we'd rather not say it, give up the investigation at this point.
Did the domestic involve Jason dispute?
We'd rather not say right now what part that was played in the investigation.
Who owned the murder weapon?
Dean?
Did you know who owned the murder weapon?
No, we're not going to comment on the anything more than the murder weapon, other than it was compared with his casings found at the scene.
A few more questions.
Has Balfour been moved to the Cook County Jail yet?
Not as of yet. He's still in the district lockup.
But he will be soon.
Tomorrow there'll be a hearing.
Superintendent, with some evidence still to be worked up in the crime lab, how confident are you in this case going forward?
Well, I mean,
If everything's not resolved yet, but
you never know how a jury is going to decide cases. So, I mean, whenever you go to trial, it is somewhat a roll of the dice. But I am confident that the evidence that's been collected, the testimony that's been secured is strong. And I think we can make a very viable case in court. I don't think the state's attorney's office would have moved forward with this case if they did not feel it was a strong case. A lot of detectives worked really hard on this. We had a lot of cooperation from a lot of different agencies, and we had citizens standing up and doing the right thing. We've worked in this in a tandem effort with the state's attorney's office.